Okay, so I'm gonna tell a quick story right now. This is kind of funny. I'm gonna try and. It'd be better if I had an audience to tell it to, but I don't. So, oh well. I'm busy putting up a Halloween decoration today. I decided I was gonna call it Janice. And I'd gone down to pick up the base for one of the umbrellas, and I'm bringing it back up. And I'm coming around the front of the house, and there's this guy. He's standing on the deck, and he's waiting. And I automatically assume he's waiting for someone. And he tells me, "Oh, I'm here to pick up my daughter Rachel." And I'm like, "Okay." And I assume because in this neighborhood we get a lot of real estate agents coming around looking at houses and whatnot. So I assume Rachel might be a real estate agent. And he says something about the house. He's like, "This is a really nice house. I really like the architecture. I really like it." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay, well," and I start telling him the story about the house. And I say, "Oh, it was built in 1936, and it's very modular. The first house was built here." And I'm like, "Oh, and by the way, here's the front door. This is where the front door used to be. It's down the side of the house. Because we used to, the property used to extend over to the other side." I'm just giving the whole description of this house that I live in. And then I decide to just be really, really comfortable. I'm like, "Hey, do you want to see inside?" And he gets all nervous. He's like, "Well, should I wear a mask?" I'm like, "No, no, we're all vaccinated here." And he's like, "Oh, so am I." It's like, "Okay, fine, come in." He takes off his sandals, and I thought that was really. I was like, "Okay," because I didn't take off my shoes. And I walk him through the house, and I'm like, "This used to be the kitchen, and this is where the front door was." And we're walking through the house, and we're talking about the construction of this house, because I'm thinking, again, his daughter is a real estate agent. Just come by to check out the property. Then we're going back, and he takes this weird look at the basement stairs, and he goes, "Oh," he doesn't say anything. And I say, "Oh, the basement isn't finished. Yeah, that needs to be done." And he has this weird look, like, and we walk back out to the front of the house. And then at that point, it suddenly becomes a realization. No, his daughter isn't a real estate agent. His daughter is actually a 16-year-old girl who has gone to a friend's house and has had a miscommunication with her dad. And he's come to this house to pick her up, only to find that he has to deal with me, just being a friendly person walking about his house with him. And I say, "Hey, my name's..." And the thing is, he pulls out his flip phone. Flip phone, yeah, that's right. And he comments, he's like, I really should probably get a normal phone sometime." I'm like, "Oh, so you keep punching the three keys for every letter." Oh, right, but then there was that other point during this whole interaction when I said something like, "Oh, if Rachel's not here, then she's probably in the back garden with my father. He probably nabbed her, and he's probably talking away to her, because that's what he does. My father talks to pretty young ladies." Again, not fully realizing that this is a father who is at this point distraught for the fact that he doesn't know where his 16-year-old or 14-year-old daughter is. And when he looked down the stairs to the basement, there was this, because I look crazy, there was this look on his face, and he was like, "What have you done with my daughter?" And it was funny because when we finally got back outside to the front step, and when he pulled out his flip phone, cute, and he also said he needs to upgrade at some point. And so he tried to call her, he tried to text her, and then the whole mistake was realized. Um, I still introduced myself and I said, "Hey, my name's Ian." And he's like, "My name's Ian too." And I was like, "Oh, two eyes or one?" He's like, "One." I'm like, "Well, I guess I got better eyes than you." I guess that's probably a creepy thing to say too. Anyhow, the whole situation was concluded 10 minutes later, and Ian, who lives on Dartmouth Road, wherever, drives by and he's like, "Hey, Ian." I'm like, "Hey." Like, he points to his daughter and he's found her, and then they go home. Fun story. It's good. And there's so many ways you can twist that and make it an even better story. Um, yeah, it was that was a good experience today. I thought it was kind of fun.